Nick had an enduring passion about serving our great country, and he dreamed about someday earning the title of United States Marine. There is something about bikers and the motorcycles and our flag. When he last spoke with his mom, Lisa, 2 weeks before he was killed, he said, "Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm living the dream." Nick rests at peace, watching over all of us, big and strong, on American soil, resting on a peaceful bluff in our Massachusetts National Cemetery, back home on our beloved Cape Cod, about a quarter of a mile from right here. Forever young and frozen in time at age 21. The words Semper Fidelis, always faithful, and living the dream are etched on his gravestone. Some of these Marines right here were with Nicholas when he passed. And there are more spread all over Cape Cod in the next few days. So if you run into them, give them a hug. And now at this point, it is my honor to pass the torch to our guest speaker. This Marine officer's current assignment is the Senior Operations Advisor at the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. His history of service includes the commanding officer of the 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. He last talked to these Marines 10 years ago. Task Force Commander, Iraq. Branch Head Strategic Advisor to the Commandant, the Pentagon. Commanding Officer, Marine Corps Barracks, Washington, D.C. Military Aide to the President, the White House. This Marine officer is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the United States Air Force War College, the Marine Corps University. The Xiarhos Gold Star family and all of the Gold Star families that are here with us today love you, we respect you, we're proud to have you with us for our 10th annual Big Nick's Ride for the Fallen right here on our beloved Cape Cod. Welcome to Massachusetts, Marine Corps Colonel Christian Cabanas.
Well, Steve, thanks for inviting me. Looking out over the crowd, I thought a lot about what I'd say. Steve knows and many others know I write things from time to time and post them to try to put things into perspective. Memorial Day, events like this remind us about the totality of what we've lost over the generations. For me specifically, it is, and I wear the shirt today to recognize those Marines and sailors of the 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines, as we would call it, America's Battalion. But in a sense, everybody that goes forward in the defense of freedom is part of one of America's battalions. But what I want you to think about a little bit, Steve told a little bit of the story. He told the nice parts, not the bad parts. When Nick and his brothers launched out into the Taliban heartland and Helmand River Valley in places that most Americans couldn't spell or pronounce and had never considered ever. I don't know, honestly, that Nick, from the 2nd of July until his passing, had a cold drink of water. None was available. They were on the edge of the empire, fighting in the defense of liberty in conditions that were unimaginable to all of us. And yet, every day, they endured. Every single day. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think they do that and what it means to us as a nation. Because the reality, we are here today to remember the individuals, and most importantly, to remember the families. The tragedy that happened on 23 July 2009 has been replayed every single day in the 10 years since, for every single family. You used to hear people say, when are they going to get back to normal? They never will. And even those who were close and are with them don't understand the depths of those bonds that will never be repaired. But I would tell you, if we come here today only to remember and to honor their memory, we have failed them. That's not what this was about. They gave their last full measure of devotion to our nation on the field of battle. Their story ended. It is our job to pick that story up. Perhaps that was what will define us as a nation, is what do we do with the sacrifice that they made on our behalf. I think back to a movie they made me watch when I was a captain, Saving Private Ryan. At the very end, Tom Hanks' character looks at Private Ryan and says, "Earn this." They sacrificed for us. What are we doing to advance the cause of liberty in our great nation? As I told somebody before, we tend to disagree on the small things, but we're united in the big things. We just don't realize it. Why do Marines go forward to the sound of the guns? Why do they respond? Out of love. That's it. Love. That is the opposite of fear. To say they weren't scared is ridiculous. But out of love, they overcame the fear and went forward. And we who came home, we know the best of us didn't return. We know that. Combat is an interesting place. It reminds us of who we really are as opposed to who we imagine that we are. So what I take from the loss and the totality as I look at it all is, what am I doing to get better each and every day? To be honorable, to live up to all my obligations, not just as a Marine officer, but as a husband, a father, a son, a nephew, an uncle. Am I being morally courageous? Am I doing the right things because they're the right thing to do? And am I committed? Because as you can see up here, the strength of our Corps isn't a flag, isn't a song, isn't our commandant. It's Marines' shared commitment to each other, just as it is in our nation. Our commitment to each other, our love will overcome. And at the end of it, we understand one eternal truth of our enormous power to endure. Looking at the Gold Star families who can get up every day and go on with their lives, cannot imagine the strength required to do that. But as human beings, we have an enormous power to endure. And with love and through love is the salvation of man and our nation. And together we can endure any trial and come out better on the other end. We will say the names and we will remember all that we've lost. But we will remember is that it is our responsibility to write the rest of their story. So I'm truly privileged to be here today, because you can see from the crowd what is united. And as you ride around today, safely, as the chaplain suggested, I want everybody to think about, what have they done? As an old Roman Stoic philosopher said, Seneca, what things about myself have I mastered today? And then the willingness to demonstrate our love for those that have lost, to stand in front of the mirror and realize, maybe I didn't live up to the person that I need to be today, and use their sacrifice and their strength to help move us forward. So it's a privilege to be here today. Like I said to the Marines before they went in, I love each and every one of them. They're national treasures. And a nation that can continue to produce people like that is going to have a long future indeed. So Semper Fidelis, and God bless. And as you ride around today, safely, as the chaplain suggested, I want everybody to think about what have they done. As an old Roman Stoic philosopher said, Seneca, what things about myself have I mastered today? And then the willingness to demonstrate our love for those that have lost, to stand in front of the mirror and realize maybe I didn't live up to the person that I need to be today, and use their sacrifice and their strength to help move us forward. Our enormous power to endure. Looking at the Gold Star families who can get up every day and go on with their lives, cannot imagine the strength required to do that. But as human beings, we have an enormous power to endure. And with love and through love is the salvation of man and our nation. And together we can endure any trial and come out better on the other end.